whatever it was. I got $200 Apple gift card and I haven't used it. It's been sitting in my drawer for months.
Boom.
And yeah, and so I was like, well, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And then really and I think I was telling you this, but one of my goals really was to try to not bring my phone with me. So
Yeah.
my remedy to that was hold on a minute. My remedy
That
to
goes
that
to your
was
watch.
to, yeah, just have my watch and have
Hmm.
and then have my Beats or the headphones on or whatever the hell it
Yes.
is, you know.
Yes. Yes.
But we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to play that game or not because I didn't. Okay, I showed you how I busted my watch out, right? Boom,
Jesus.
smack
It
down on
looked
the
like it
thing.
hit. It got hit by a nuclear weapon.
I
What the
couldn't
hell,
believe it. Travertine floor, 4 foot drop, and like
dude?
because it was on the thing. Because you
Boom.
guys know these Apple watches are indestructible. I feel like I've been swimming in it
That's
for
what I. That's
months.
why I was like blown away by it. You know.
And this little thing was a beast, and so
Mm-hmm.
I came out and boom! It must have just hit perfectly just square
Like
on that thing. Actually, if it was perfectly square, it
slid
probably
off.
wouldn't have.
Yeah. It would have
Yeah,
saved it.
because it was, the cord was plugged in. It was probably too
Mm-hmm.
far away. I should have had it on the ground and it just like whacked it down.
Yeah, and it was like
Just
slowly sliding it. Then eventually it was a. Mm-hmm.
boom. Yeah, like a scorpion tail
Yeah. That's
or
why
a
I hate the Apple.
diplodocus.
The Apple cords, and I hate
Don't say hate
like
Apple.
the stuff that they give you. It because they're this long, right? And
Yeah,
here's the craziest part. Apple agrees with me. So you will never ever get
yeah.
another Apple cord or a charging puck in any other
Baltimore.
iPhone ever again.
Yeah,
They already made that announcement.
well. Think about the cord I got with these things. It doesn't fit any of the plugs that I have for the house. It only will plug into Jenny's new Surface Pro that she happened to bring home tonight because it's the US.
USB-C?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
I don't have any of
USB-C.
that stuff around here. Yeah, like a
Yeah.
GoPro, stuff like that's
Yep.
the only other thing I
GoPro's
know that has
USB-C.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, those mother, and you've seen
Well,
the funny video of the guy talking about the dongles, right? The little Mexican guy with no teeth. Have you
No,
seen that?
no.
Oh my gosh, he's like, it's like a Mexican game show. You got to pull it up. It's right up your alley. And
Okay.
then the guy's got no teeth, and he's like telling a story. He's some celebrity or something. And he's just telling a story, laughing his ass off. But the subtitles are all like about Apple, and he's like, "No, we're not gonna have any plugs in the whole fucking thing. It's gonna be dongles." He's like, "Dongles," and he's like laughing. Dude, you're gonna
I'm
flip.
writing it
I'm
down.
sending it to you, please.
Oh,
I'll
you
send
got it?
to you now. Well,
Yeah,
yeah, I
send it
got
to
it.
me. Send it
All
to me
right,
for sure. I was gonna write it down just so I could look it up later and instead of hijacking
dude.
the podcast.
Yeah, you're good.
But honestly, but yeah, the Apple's already changed over all their MacBook Pros. None of them have regular USB anymore. They've changed over the iPads. They all have USB-C. They're talking about doing it with the phones, but
Yeah.
they're also talking about taking the port out completely. So you would have to only wireless charge it like you do with your watch. So they're thinking about doing that too. So there's a
That
couple
would
different things, and Apple's
That'd
looking to
save
get
even
rid of
more
all that.
space. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, it saves space on the thing. Yeah.
So that's their plan. That's what they're doing.
Interesting.
Yep.
So, I was listening to your podcast this evening and out on a run. I went for a killer run today, dude. Let me tell you this. Like I went out the house. It's been a while since I put a good run in, and it's been hot. And I mean, that's really my
It's hot here
excuse. I
too,
mean,
dude.
so it was 111 when I left the house, and I'm like, okay, here we go.
Damn, that's
It's a dry
next
heat,
level.
baby. And so I was like, I'm gonna do a little trot Nixon. Just head out the front. We'll see how far I go. I know there's an easy loop. I go out to the path. I go down to a northern, and then I just turn on the other side of the canal. Come back right up. It's a paved.
That's half the
paved thing
battle
along
right
the
there.
canal, right?
Having a loop or a route,
Oh,
that
it's
your
so
go-to
great.
route or something, or a couple
And
actually. We have three. We have three separate routes: a short, a medium, and a long.
Yeah, I like this. And
Mhm.
sometimes they'll tell you if you're going to go for a longer run, like just go in a straight line because that way you have to come back.
Well, we
So-
say epic. That's what we actually call. We call it the
Epic.
epic. We call it the soccer field is medium, and
Yeah.
then short is short. So
Short is
Yeah.
short.
epic is
Why
like
go-
through all these neighborhoods and shit, and we wind around and go. It's like 4 or 5 miles.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and then the short ones maybe like a mile and a half or two, like half of whatever that epic one is. I can't remember
On
off
a
the top of my
clipper?
head. I'd have to look at my phone and I could give you exact stats.
That's what I need because I was so okay. A couple things. I was out there without my watch, and I was a little like
Dumb, dumb,
because
dumb.
you know what
That's
I
the
mean.
only
Well,
time I
it's
fucking miss my
busted.
circles, dude. Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I'm bummed. I ordered the thing, but it said 2 to 3 weeks. I'm
Well, your
fucking
phone
bummed.
should pick up some of it.
It should pick up. I'm going to look at it because so I go up and I do the loop and it's hot and I didn't bring any water. Usually I have a backpack on, but I was just like, zoned. I have this new way of running where I'm just like, I was chasing Payne the other day down this like
Hmm.
chute on the path. You can like, because we go underneath the road, so you don't have to cross the road. And
Cool.
since I was running down, I was like, the
You had a
way my
short
foot
chop.
landed, yeah, I
Hmm.
had to short chop, and then I was landing and where you're supposed to
On your
land
toes. Yep.
here, like in the,
Yep.
yeah. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I just felt something. And Payne's
On
like,
the
what? And I'm
balls
like,
of your
I
feet.
just figured it out. And so now my run, and like I had this little clip today, and so I went all the way down. I came back and I looked, and I thought Goggins. I was like, look, man, there's the exit to go home because I got to go down the hill, little Bunker Hill chute, and
That's
then
cool.
go into my neighborhood. And I was like, fuck it, just get uncomfortable. And I went again, and I
Yeah.
think it's
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
2.2 mile loop. And I knew I was getting
What
into
you're
another
getting into. Yeah.
two and a, two something. And I was like, let's just go with it.
Cool.
But I couldn't tell my heart rate. Like I really wanted to know my heart rate because when I
Oh,
got back, I
does-
couldn't
and
calm it down.
the 3 has the ability to check that shit, right?
Oh yeah, it
One-
has all
yeah,
that.
okay.
But I
Yeah, I
just,
didn't know that.
without
Okay.
having the watch, I was bummed. I was like,
Yeah.
dude, like I think
It
I'm,
does suck.
because of the heat. And I was just seriously, Tony, I was like fucking locked in. I was where,
Yeah.
you know, those times where you could just go, like I could go forever. I
Yes.
feel like I needed some water, but then I was like, okay, it's really hot. I
Yeah,
probably
you
should
don't
just
wanna-
go in.
Yeah, it's a dehydration thing more than anything. But then again, too, like you're right about that heart rate shit because if you know what you're doing and you take your heart rate and
I know where I need to be, and I know what's high. Like when I start hitting 174 and stuff like that, like I don't want to peak
oh
there
my
for too long.
God, 174.
Yeah,
Holy shit.
that's like high.
Okay, hang on.
But dude,
I
my
wanna
resting
see-
heart rate's like 59 or like 55. Yeah.
Oh, here, wait, I could do mine right now. This has a built-in echocardiogram. So the 4 has a badass way where you hold your hands on the button like this. Let's see if we can
Yeah.
do it.
This is good, dude.
I have to stand.
It's an EKG, essentially a built-in EKG. This is great.
Yeah, so I have to stand like this weird though because if I take my finger off, it'll make me start.
Yeah, for sure. When you go get those, they don't take very long. They take probably as long as this is about to take.
Yeah, like 81 beats a minute. But I'm kind of going up a little bit because I'm sitting weird. It's all over the place right now, actually.
Well, you're twisting for one. I mean, a lot of stuff. I remember sitting down, you know, when you sit down and get your
Yeah,
blood
it's
pressure
that
taken,
inconclusive.
they'll tell you not to
Yeah.
cross your legs because if you cross your legs when you're sitting down, it does something
Yeah.
to your.
It gave me an error. It didn't even let me finish it because I was sitting so weird. But that thing's cool. Like if you, like you said, if you sit still and you position your finger right and you just tap it on there, you know, just good enough, it gives you a great reading. I was gonna try to see what like you can look
So-
in your workouts and you can see in your workouts like what your heart rate was while you were working out. So I just did the one
Oh, yeah,
before
for
this,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
So my average heart rate during that workout was 98 beats per minute. Let me go to one of my runs and I want to see what one of like my epic runs were like back in the day here because I haven't run in a little bit. So let me see. I got to go back a
So-
little bit.
The cool part about the watch is that, and so I wanted to get the 5, and I easily could have got the 5, but I decided here was my move. Instead of maxing
talking, I'm
out,
just looking
even though
at
we
you.
get a discount, yeah, I know, even though we got a discount, like I could have got a fully maxed out 5-watt iWatch for like $220, and that's like to the door, shipped, everything, taxes,
Yep, Not
which
bad.
is a good deal. And if I
Yeah.
don't work out, then I get dinged like
That's what
$15
people are
every
saying.
month. Yeah. So, but I could get the one I just had, the 3 that has everything, and the way they size the faces, like the 3, you can still get a 42. Well, in the 5, you can only get a 40 or a 44.
Right.
44 is cool. So I was already getting the 44, blah, 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 blah.
44.
And so I
you
just
want the biggest
decided-
you can get. Yeah.
Yeah, but I just decided to re-up on a 3 for $69 because I know the tech is like fancy and I want it.
It's just the screen, in my opinion.
But also, it's like, what do I use it for? I use it to track my health stats, and that's truly. I don't want to have my email, whatever, and listen to music. So if that's what I'm doing, then $69 is just fine.
so
But the ego wanted me to pull the trigger, and I almost did, and I slept on it. The next day, I was like, nah.
I would be careful with the 3 because the 3 you're not supposed to swim in. The 4
I
is
just
the
had
first
one.
one. Yeah, I was gonna say. That's
Trust
why
me, I looked it up. I've looked it up
I'm
because
almost
before I
100%
got in with that
positive.
thing,
Because I waited for the first one that you could swim with. First, I'm gonna look it up. First, Apple.
yeah, you might be right. I
Watch
guess I could
to
send it back,
swim
but maybe that's
with.
why it got weak because I swam with it
Yeah.
for.
Okay, so it says here.
since the beginning of the year at least.
Okay. Hang on here.
I put some
your-
puts and puts and puts and
Series
puts.
5 for sure. Okay, here. Is your Apple Watch waterproof? That's what we're looking at right now.
Yeah, Drew. You think I wouldn't have looked that up? Who, guys? If you got a 3 and you're commenting on this with everybody watching, let us
Okay,
know if it
Series
works or not.
Series 0 and Series 1 weren't made to handle more than a splash.
Yeah.
Okay, it says here, as Apple Watch and Apple approached its key health device has matured, so have its capabilities. The new Apple Watch models are not only waterproof, but they're specially designed for swimming. Here's a complete list of current Apple Watch models that you can use in the pool without a second thought. So you said
Don't
you
even
have
think about it.
you said you have the 3 on here, right?
Yeah.
Hang on, I'm looking at it right now. Hang on here. Now I'm getting ads.
See,
It's not saying
Becky,
anything.
told you. I'm pretty
One way
sure,
or
man. I think
another.
I looked it up. I think I looked that up pretty quickly. It's probably like up to 5 meters or something, or not very. It's
Yeah. I know what you mean. Like where you can like shower with it or take it into like
it's
a pool,
50
right?
meters or something like that. No, I think it's
Yeah.
legit. But
Hang on.
so this whole Bitcoin thing, man. I was listening to your podcast today. I'm going to talk about that for a minute.
Sure.
And and the Bitcoin thing. I like what you're doing, a little Twitter giveaway, or IG giveaway, little Instagram giveaway. It's gonna be really cool. And then you got to put the rules up there, and you got to comment on the show. Not this show though. This is great.
Yep.
Not this
Well,
show.
you
This
want-
does not count.
You want to know how good that worked?
No, it's really good.
Since I did that episode, I've
Yeah.
had the most downloads I've ever had ever. Over 551 in the last 6 days.
On that episode.
From that episode, because I said, hey, you got to tell me what your favorite episode is. And I was seeing people download my entire catalog, like the entire catalog, multiple
Yeah.
people. I got
Yeah.
551 or something like that over
That's
6 days.
really cool, dude. I'm gonna have to give some stuff away. I talk quickly, but there's room for it, so that'll be fun.
I haven't checked it yet today. It's probably still blowing up.
I just hit it. I was on it, when I do my cool down, and then I like to start it. And then today I took a little cruise, and I listened to it on the way back. It was,
Yeah, I got a couple of.
I like to listen to you at 1.5 though, because you like to mosey, and I'm like, I
That's
I
hysterical.
like to hear you talk a little faster. Usually a 1.2. If I listen to you at a 1.2, it's perfect. But today I didn't have a lot of time to wrap the end up.
Yeah.
But when I got to the contest, I was like, wait, what?
There's a lot of people that listen to podcasts like that. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Or
It
like
depends on what
audiobooks.
content. Yeah, audiobooks I won't go so fast on because I've done it with the Peterson book and a couple others, and like some of it you end up
You didn't get the best value in your mind. or something.
you'll
Yeah.
some of it you'll pay attention to, some
I
you'll
know
take
what you
notes
mean.
on, and then sometimes if you like, it might not be the best book to clean the garage and do at the same time because you're thinking other things and you tend to drift away. It's just like
You don't get enough
So-
done on the thing you're doing. Yeah.
yeah, and so you're not getting the value. So it depends on what you're doing. But if you're driving, I think it's a great book to drive to, because you don't have to take notes sometimes. I mentioned to you I did a show tonight. Actually, I typically do them in the morning, but I did an anchor show tonight, and I went out and I mentioned you in it because I just said Tony, but I said don't specialize, do it all, and here's why. And it's only 4 minutes, but essentially, it's like no, man. I'm going to make a table. I'm going to do a show. I'm going to learn this. I'm going to do that. And I do it
Right.
all at the same time, because if I take 6 months to learn the piano, then I take 6 months to learn the bass, and then I take 6 months and learn woodworking, like everything's going to take a while anyway.
Long time. Yeah.
So it'll take a long time if I do them all at the same time, and I get to feed all those personalities and different emotions and energies that I need. That is
sure.
what fuels me, because I've been trying to back off, and this is maybe my
You
excuse.
have to.
This
You have
may be
to,
my
though,
excuse,
in order to
though.
make sure you're going after the right things. Like
That's
that's what I was
true.
saying. That's what I
That's
meant.
true.
I didn't say back off because you couldn't handle it.
No,
was
I
saying
know. I
back
never
off
took
to
it that
make
way.
Sure
Yeah.
that you were focusing on exactly what you need to be. You know what I
No,
mean?
that's smart. No, that's
Yeah.
smart, because that did happen. Like I tried to back off, and then And then it did make me say, okay, well, where am I spending my time?
Yes.
Okay. And I've made the list. What do I want to work on? And then I made the list again, like, okay, am I
Yes.
sure I'm still So it's like, I
Yes.
think
Am
that's
I
one of the
sure?
things is to pay attention to is almost every day or maybe every week, maybe every day. Am I working on today? Am I working
100%.
on
Do it
what I'm
every
supposed to, what I want to be
That
working
I
on?
would say every week for sure, at least, like you're saying, because in that best self guide or that best self journal that I do,
Yeah.
they do make you do that. That's one of the weekly recaps. They say, were you spending your time on what you needed to in order to achieve your goals, yes or no? And how are you going to do better next week? And you have a huge paragraph. They leave you huge space to write in it,
Yeah.
in this thing. And it's like the best question that I have to do in my recap all week. Well, there's only one, but it's the best question in the whole recap because it actually makes you think about that, and it makes you then also think about what you're gonna. Even if you half-ass it, you're still gonna get something out of it. It's crazy good.
You know what I've been thinking is that maybe for people that do struggle with this, that don't like or haven't gotten up in the morning and been writing in their journal or doing their goals, or they struggle with it or something, I kind of flipped it on its head too, and saying, do a recap at the end of the day. If
Sure,
you have this time right here and you have keep a notebook where you like to watch Netflix, at least
dude.
you'll
I
just
do that
grab it
all the time.
and then just write down what you accomplished. Because for me, it was allowing me to be like, wow, I'm actually getting shit done. You know what I mean? Like, it's easy to brush off and say, well, I'm not getting as much done as I want to, or I'm never going to get there. And it's like, if you actually see what you got done,
Yep.
then you'll be like, wow, I did. Or you'll realize you're piddling around, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're doing whatever. But so it was really
Nine.
cool to
Well,
flip it on its head for me and then have me say, like, look, dude, give yourself a break. You're getting shit done, you know?
I would say 7 times out of 10, that's how I do the best self journal. 7 days out of
Yeah.
10, I would say 70% of the time I do the best self journal like that.
Yeah.
I don't touch it all day. And
Yeah.
then at the end of the day, I go
Yeah.
back through and I try to remember even exactly what I was doing at every single hour.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the only thing that I'll actually do in real time, the most of the time is in the morning when it says, hey, what do you need to do to make this a win or whatever, to make this day a win. I will do that sometimes early, but most of the time, everything else I fill out after the fact.
So then, and I can't remember if I read it from that journal, the best part of that exercise is, and they say the mental side of it, right, is that you are now looking back just on today. And if
Yeah.
there were some great cool parts or some great parts, then
You
you're
have to write
reliving
them
that
down
and you're understanding that, right? And you're
and
almost
you're writing
reliving
it
it again.
down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you're writing it down. You're writing it down, and you're reliving it. Where a lot of times these like little cool wins along the way we don't pay attention to.
Yeah.
Sometimes we
Get
don't
lost in the
because they don't
shuffle.
affect us. They get lost in the shuffle and we don't
Yeah.
allow them to stack up. But that is what builds momentum. If you can
And
see it, because so when you're
yeah.
trying to
And then
lose
at the
weight
end
and
of the
like
week, you have to go through them all again
frustrating,
and you have to go through all your wins and you have to see which ones are
so
your
do
best
it.
three.
Okay,
So,
then what?
so it makes you, that's what you record on your weekly recap. So when you're going
Mm.
through in the best self journal, it says, okay, now go through all your wins that you've had this past week. Pick 3 of them that were the most important and the biggest wins that you've had all week. So now, then you have to now go back through the whole week and
Back
read
it up. Back it
each
up.
day again. So that's why I've been preaching the best self journal for the past 6 years, is because it
That's
does
true.
every single thing that you're talking about right now. And it leads you to it. I mean, it like walks you right through it, hold your
It
hand.
was, but you know what? I went through a couple of those, and it was. I don't know. I can blame myself and say a bunch of different things, but it was overwhelming, and it was constrictive, like to me, because of what I put on it. And that's why I think what freed me up was to just write it at the end of the day, because
Sure.
I kept trying to do this morning journaling thing, and I'd set all these great intentions and I'd set all these great goals, but then the book would go down and I'd walk to my desk. And so
That's okay.
I don't know. Yeah, I know it just wasn't working for me. And so the
Well,
recap at the
it's
end of the
because I think
night
your
is
expectations were off. And you were
I
saying
was
that it
using it
was
incorrectly.
overwhelming, but it was constrictive. That's like an oxymoron. So if it was
No, that's
overwhelming,
why
then
it was
it
overwhelming.
wouldn't be constrictive enough. You know what I'm saying? If it was if it was
Well, you
if it
could think
was
that.
underwhelming, then it would be too constrictive. You know what I'm saying? Like if it was preventing you from getting something out of it, it's too constrictive. If you're getting too much out of it to where it's overwhelming, then it's not restrictive enough. So I think that
No, It was overwhelming to the point. Yeah, maybe you're right, because
Right.
I is like I could start it and I could do all of it, but I was just, and you were in my head a lot of the times being like, dude, just go through the motions. If you write, I'm grateful for my iPhone every day, like it's fine. One day it'll change, and I'm
Think of
actually
it.
getting to the point where those things that I write down are
Yeah.
getting to be different now, which is
They will.
really cool. But it takes a
Everybody starts.
while,
It
man.
could take 2 years, and no one
Yeah,
wants to do
it
that.
takes a while.
But the payoff is insane, and no one wants to hear that either. No one wants to hear that it's going to take 2 years for something like this to pan out. No one's going to put that
Yeah.
time in. But the fact
Well,
is no one's going to achieve their dreams either. So that's the problem. So here's the thing about it. Like
so fucking cut. We're out of
like
here.
like them saying. So here's the thing that's crazy, right? Is
Yeah.
like it's like brushing your teeth. Okay, so like when I hear people say that they can't do the best self journal,
Mhm.
that's what I'm hearing is this. Well, I have a toothbrush and I gotta actually like take it out and then put this toothpaste on there. Then I have
Yeah.
to like hold it up to my
Yeah.
teeth, like actually
Yeah.
fucking brush it up and down. Then there's like all these teeth, and I have to like brush all of them. And then I have to do this thing where like I spit it all out, and then I have to take this cup
Yeah,
and I
but
have to put it
this,
in my mouth.
yeah, I
Then I
get
have to
you.
swish it around. Then I have to
Yeah.
spit it out. Then I have to take this towel and I have to wipe my face and I have to make sure I don't have any. But in reality, it's fucking brushing your teeth. It all depends on how you look at it.
No, you're right. But people won't go there because they have to look at themselves, and they have to subconsciously. They know that they're not in line, and it's hard for them to go call themselves out. That's truth, dude. People will not do it because they don't want to admit that maybe they shouldn't drink anymore. Maybe they ate too many freaking pierogies on. I don't know.
But this thing isn't even
Where
really
did
digging into
pierogies
your
come from?
skeletons. It's making you focus on goals. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I
Yeah,
think
but
is-
that starts
doesn't-
people. But hey,
doesn't
you've said
ask
this
you
100
what's
times.
wrong.
No, it's getting you though to ask you what you want,
Right.
and people don't know, and it's scary.
Right.
Yeah.
Right,
So then
I
they
agree.
start figuring out, who am I? That's where
Yes.
I went.
But you
and so
have to do that. And
You
in
have
order
to
for
do
you
that.
to get anywhere, you have
so
to do
even
that.
if it's goals, you say it's just goals, but it's more than that, man. This is
Oh, yeah.
into the psyche. If you want it to change you, if you
But
want to really use it, dude, like you use it very well. I mean, from what you tell me, and your consistency is what drives me,
and I
because
started horribly.
in my brain, you were very consistent,
And I started
so-
horribly. That's what I mean. Like
Sure.
I started so bad with that journal. It was exactly what I explained to you, and you just said the same thing. I would miss 3 days and then try to go back and catch up, and then I would miss a week and I would try to go back and catch up, and then I would just skip days, and then I wouldn't finish this one, but then I went back and finished it, but then I changed the date on it, so it was like half of this 3 months, and the end of it was this 3 weeks. It was a shit show. So and I could have very easily just said, "Oh, this doesn't work. It's not going to work for me," and just moved on. But I saw what all these other things did, like setting goals, all of the things compartmentalized. You know how you were saying it's overwhelming? So
Yeah.
everything compartmentalized is all what I wanted. And you just said the exact same thing. You just compartmentalized the entire journal and said, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this, and I want this. And that's exactly what the journal does. You just didn't look at it like that. So if you break it down and
true.
compartmentalize this thing, then you can start to attack each part of it, strategically. Once you attack each part of this thing strategically, you realize that it's no big deal. And then it becomes like brushing your teeth. It literally is just another habit, or not even a habit, but like a daily routine. And
It is.
and it's so easy, and it's so valuable, and it's so good. Like I said, this past best self journal, I set the loftiest fucking goals I've ever set in my life, and I knocked them out in 6 months. If you would have told me that that was possible, like I said last time, I would have laughed in your face. But the fact of the matter is, it's not possible until you put it on paper and you keep writing it down every single day. Then you have to revisit it and make sure you're on the same track every single week. Then after you're done with the 13 weeks, you have to then face the music and say, did I hit these goals? And what do I need to do in order to make this thing happen next time? So I'm telling you, this is it. This is the stuff that everybody needs in order to make themselves successful. But for some reason, they don't want to be successful. They just want to be comfortable. Everyone just wants to be comfortable.
Well,
And
there's
it blows
a
my
point.
mind.
You're right, though, because there's a point where there are multiple points where you're going to have to make some sort of decision. And, I'm getting to there too. And that's why I'm trying to build up some skills with the video editing. As I enjoy it. It takes time, but I enjoy it. You know,
Super
I posted
important.
my video today just because I needed to post it, but I know
Okay.
the volume levels are off and I have to go work on that. And I was talking with Jenny last night and I was like, I got to post this thing. And she's like, dude, post it and then keep working on it and then just update the posting. Like, you know, she's like, I think because it's been weighing me down. My list of things like that and finishing this table and this and that have been like, I'm starting to let it affect me.
Sure.
Right. And
It's
so,
it's because you know that you're not doing enough. You know that you could be doing more and you're not doing enough. And let me ask you this: how many people on YouTube do you follow that work woodworking tables?
what do you mean? That do
How many
woodworking things?
people do woodworking things like build tables that you follow and you watch them and you see how they do their thing? How many people have
Probably,
you subscribed to?
probably five.
How long of a period of time?
3 months.
Okay. How many articles, how many things, how much information do you say you have saved in a bookmark in your browser for just woodworking and tables and shit?
Oh, probably three things. Probably like three, like not recipes, but
Sure. Yeah.
plans.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Any
you know.
links on like, different wood, any links on different stain, anything like that that you save in your bookmarks?
No, I don't really save stuff like that that
Okay.
much. Really, just researching stains, researching
Yeah.
wood in my
Right, right,
area,
right.
places I can buy things.
Sure.
You know,
But
then
you don't
mainly
bookmark it, you just look it up and just let it go.
it depends on how valuable I think that it is.
Right.
But a lot of bookmarks probably, and some I would say more around people on YouTube that say like what sells, right? And so a lot of these
Mhm.
things like what are people making that's selling? I'll watch a lot of those.
Sure.
You know, lately I've been
Sure.
watching the Appalachian Trail though. Go
How
ahead, keep
many
going. I like what you're saying.
how many books have you read about woodworking and building tables?
Oh, none.
How much time have you spent actually building tables and doing woodworking? Roughly. You probably don't have a clue, but
Yeah,
estimate.
probably 15 hours.
How serious are you about doing this?
Doing it is what I'm enjoying. I enjoy doing it.
Cool. So you're not looking to make any money, you're not looking to get, that much better. You're just kind of just messing around with it as a like just for fun.
No, I would like to make money. I mean, I had somebody, already asked this past weekend if I, how much to ship it to Boston. And, I had
Hmm.
a couple local people that wanted to stop
Yes.
by and then I kind of pushed them off because I was like, I'm not ready. Like, I
Why
kind of put
aren't
it
you
up there
ready?
just to see because I'm not ready. I just wanted to see if somebody would even bite. And they did. And I thought that was like me testing the market. And then I was like, okay, well,
Imagine
now
if
I
you were
should,
ready.
I know. That's why I was like, well,
Yeah.
maybe I should pull out and finish this and get a couple new pictures up and then
Yep.
because I and then see where it goes because I do enjoy that.
Sure.
Um,
The only reason I'm asking you these
no, keep
questions
going. This is great.
is
Yeah,
is because and I'm not comparing us to at all. I'm just giving you an example of the level of obsession that I go on. Okay.
sure.
So I've been messing around with crypto. You mentioned Bitcoin, right? So I've been messing around with Bitcoin for about 3 weeks. That's it.
Yeah.
I've never touched it in my life, except for maybe about 3 weeks ago or so. Um, as it sits right now, if you looked in my file folder for bookmarks, I'm probably in the 300s.
Yeah.
I've read 6 books. I don't know. I've watched probably 1,000 hours of YouTube videos. I'm subscribed to about 20, 30 people that do mining and talk about crypto daily.
Okay.
I watch a daily YouTube show that goes over crypto every single day. I have my charts and I have everything that I track my crypto on, probably about 16 hours a day. I joined a social media network that follows just stocks called Stock Twits, and I follow all my crypto stuff on there. And I engage in a community where they give me feedback and they explore different options and different things that I could use to make
Awesome.
myself even way more intelligent and better when it comes to crypto mining, when it comes to crypto investing, when it comes to understanding what blockchain is, when it comes to understanding what technology is, when it comes to understanding all of this stuff, the future, decentralized finance, all of this stuff I've learned just because I dipped my toe in. So what I'm saying is, and plus I have about 7 podcasts that I've subscribed to about now. And I've also looked into building my own mining rig, which I told you about. And I'm actually doing that as we speak. I'm just waiting for the components to hit. I just called up ComEd and made sure that I do not have averaged rates. I want my rates to change and fluctuate so I know when my best times are to mine. See, this is what I'm talking about. When I get crazy about something and I know that there's something that I need to do and that there's some value here and I get into something, dude, I mean, like, everyone always wonders, like how do you make $30,000 in 1 month in the stock market? I'm telling you, 16-hour days, 300 links, 6 books. I mean, 50 freaking YouTube subscriptions, thousands of hours. I mean, dude, the level of, I stay up till 3 a.m. I get up at 8 so that I can make, the opening bell.
Awesome.
When I'm walking, I'm looking at stock charts. I'm not just walking. I'm looking at stock charts. I'm listening to a podcast. I'm watching Mad Money on CNBC. You know, it all right. When I was younger, you were a great athlete, dude. You know this. So you were
Thanks.
super coordinated, bro. Super fucking coordinated. You could dominate anything. That's what one of the things that's impressed me the most about you was just your level of just sheer coordination and like control of your body. That was fucking
Yeah.
crazy. And back in the day, I played some sports too, as you know, and I was pretty good. So I had coaches that would come up to me and explain shit to me and give me tips and, tell me all this stuff and give me the down low, And one of the coaches came up to me, and I think it was DeBolt. I can't even remember. But
Right.
he said to me, he goes, "Do you want to make it to the major leagues?" And I said, "Yes, of course." That was been my
I'm
dream
in.
forever, And he's like, "Do you know what that takes?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I got to be a badass baseball player. I got to impress these scouts. I got to get to a school or maybe even, into the minors, impress, there so I can work my way up through the A's. And then maybe I can get a shot, And he's like, "No, that's not how you do it." And I go, "Well, how do I do it?" And he goes, "You have to eat, shit, sleep, breathe, fucking fuck baseball. That's what you do. Eat,
It's
shit,
true.
sleep, breathe, fuck baseball. That's it. If you don't do it, you ain't going to be shit.
You won't make it. Same thing for all of it.
You want to be the best table worker there is, or do you want to make your name as far as a woodworker? Then eat shit, sleep, breathe, and fucking fuck woodworking shit. You want to be the best dude with the helping people out and doing, like you said, talks and getting on stage, going on tour,
Yeah.
visiting schools, explaining
Yeah.
to people what's up. Then you have to
Tell them
eat
what the
shit,
fuck.
sleep, and breathe this shit, man.
Dude, this is what I do with my life. This is who I am. You can.
You
I
just
don't want to
told
be
me
the
the
best.
opposite.
Yeah, I don't want to be the best table maker in the world. That's not what
What
I'm
do you
trying to
wanna be?
be. Huh? I'm a Renaissance man, dude. I'm good at everything, and I want to experience it all, and I want to go into it, and I want to sell tables, right? And I want to talk to stage,
got
and I
you a
want to
little
live,
pissed
and I want to
off
go
'cause I
out.
like
Yeah, you
this.
do. Because you're like, I'm going balls in, and I was like, that is
I'm calling
okay.
you the fuck out.
No.
Being a
Look at
Renaissance
what
man,
listen
not
to
gonna
what I
help
told
you,
you.
man. You gotta
Listen to what I
dig.
told you. Listen to what I told you.
Dig.
Listen to what I told you. When I told
Specialize.
you how many hours I've spent doing bookmarking links and reading
Yes.
books and all that stuff,
Yes.
that was very small
Right.
compared to the amount of time I actually spent woodworking.
That's why I asked you that, and you said not much.
No, most of my hours, though, even though it was only 15 hours, has been spent woodworking. I've spent more time woodworking than I have watching tips on woodworking, is what I'm saying. I'm actually doing it. Okay, I'm not saying you're not. I'm saying
Perfect practice makes perfect. Remember that.
Well,
Not
I'm
practice
learning it.
makes perfect. Perfect practice makes perfect. And you can't do anything perfect unless you've learned it from somebody that has perfected it.
Well, that's not true, dude. Why does
Yes, it
Tiger
is.
Woods have a coach, but he's better than him?
Because he was taught from the day that he could fucking walk exactly what the perfect practice routines were.
Yeah, but
Almost
how
to the
could
point
Hank
it was, like,
Haney? How
militarily
could
fucking
anybody?
instilled.
How could anybody then? Why would Tiger Woods ever need a coach then? Because they can't do it like he can do it. He can't. They can't teach him how to move the way he knows how to move. Maybe.
Right, but he wouldn't even be at that point unless someone showed him how to correctly hold the club. Am I right?
Valid.
You're not Tiger Woods. You're learning how to hold the club, bro.
I know, but you just said if you want to be the best table maker in the world, like,
Well, that was just what it came out. Like I said,
No.
do you want to be the best speaker?
look,
That's
it's
why I gave you a
different.
couple
I want to.
options.
No, I want to be all of that stuff. I mean, if I had
But you
16
can't.
hours,
That's
if
what
I
I'm
had,
saying.
yes, I can.
No,
Tony,
you
don't.
can't.
Well, that they told you people couldn't land on the moon. They told you Tesla.
But those
they
guys
told you everything.
specialized in landing on the moon. They didn't specialize in 15 things and just.
Well, I don't know. An
got lucky with the
astronaut,
moon.
those guys pretty much are good probably at everything they do.
but
but
I think you're
we'll
missing
see.
the point.
This is great. I'm not missing the point.
Yeah. If you want to be the best musician, you know what it takes. You went
Yeah,
that
for
route.
sure.
You went to fucking
Yeah.
Nashville.
And
That's
I
what I'm
didn't do it.
talking about.
Yeah, I know. I know that.
You know what I'm talking about.
I've been there. Yeah, I know. And
Yeah.
that's why I'm saying, like, after all that,
Well,
what
why
feeds
aren't you
me?
there again, mentally at least? You know, it might not be music, but mentally, what's changed from then to now? Obviously, family and moved and
Yeah, I mean,
lot.
yeah, I don't have 16 hours a day to watch YouTube videos and walk around on podcasts. I have a child at home who's 4, and I also teach and I work, right?
All right,
So,
let's get to the nuts and bolts, baby.
well, that is the nuts and bolts. I don't have
Keep
the same
going.
time that you have. But in the time that I've
Sounds
had
like
with
an
the
excuse
child,
to me.
oh, yeah, I got from a 9 handicap to a scratch.
Here we go. Now we're talking. Keep
How do you do that, right?
Yes.
That with learning how to get better in short amount of time on many
Yes.
things.
Yes.
Many things. So even though I'm doing this, and even though I have this, and I'm talking over here, and I have no Boost 30, and I'm building tables, and I can shoot pretty good golf.
Yeah.
I enjoy walking into a setting and being able to be better than average,
Yeah. You've
above
always
average.
been that guy.
Yeah, and so that's what I want to be. And so you're saying, yeah, that's great. You've always been
I
that
think you
guy.
can be better than that. That's what I'm saying.
At what?
Whatever you want.
That's true, probably. I mean, it is true. I guess my stutter is that I don't know. I kind of want it all. Like the two things that I
Can't have
want.
it all.
I don't know. Why not?
Oh,
Here's what I said. Let me finish the thought on this
Okay,
because
go,
this
go,
is
go.
why I brought it
Yeah.
up.
Go,
Because
go.
what I was saying on my show this morning was that you can have it all. You can do everything. You can live those things. But, and then also, if you build that same time and passion in that you put into these things that we love to do to your family and to your health,
Yes.
you will end your life maybe never being
lot
great at
better.
anything, but you'll feel rich. You'll have a rich life, and I think that if you take care of your family, you'll have that, and I think that you'll be able to go down knowing that.
That's a foundation for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you went out and you tasted it all, and you scuba dive, and you went to poetry nights, and you created art, and you painted, and maybe you sold some art, and maybe you had a song on the radio, and maybe you got to speak at your old high school. Like, I don't know, like it depends
You're
on
right.
what the dream is. It's not an Elon Musk dream for me. There's some fame that loves to be chased because I like to be, adored and
Yeah.
popular.
Popular.
Yeah, popular or whatever. But also it's
I
the
love to be loved as
experiences,
well,
man.
my friend.
Love to be loved. I love the experience though. But I like where you're getting because I'm not trying to back you off.
Oh, I know.
Because
Oh, I'm
do
not
feel
backing
you.
off, baby.
I know. Well, I mean, I'm not trying to not answer is what I should say.
I know, and I'll keep grinding you until you tell
Keep
me
going,
to fuck
though.
off and
No, that won't happen. You'll get me to an answer that I probably would be like, son of a bitch.
I know. And look, I wouldn't push that hard to where you did.
Oh,
that.
baby, bring it. But also, I appreciate it because this is solid, dude. This is really
It
good.
is. And I'm saying this from a position of
And I'll probably
being in
next
the
week.
same boat. We're in the
Yeah.
same boat sitting next to each other. It's not like I'm in a fucking $1 million
know.
yacht and laughing at you in your fucking dinghy. You know what I mean? We're in the same boat sitting next to each other, bro.
I know. No, I
What?
appreciate it. I
Yeah.
love it all.
Yeah.
But
and I
you
do
were
too.
gonna say, yeah, no.
But I
You
was
were
just
gonna
going to
say
say
something.
this. And it's a stock market adage, right? The thing about the stock market is this. Bulls get
Baby.
fed. Okay. Bears get fed, all right? And hogs get slaughtered. So that's the rule of the stock market, right?
I see
So
the analogy.
You can't have it all. You can have this or you can have this. So you can be like a glass half full, glass half
Mhm.
empty, but you can't have both. You get slaughtered.
I don't know
you
about
killed.
that.
Here was another thing that I've
Depends
been
on what
looking
your
at.
definition and expectation is. Because if
So back in the day, I was a Renaissance man too, and I always thought that it would be really cool to be good at a lot of things. And I didn't really dive deep into any one of my passions besides like sports, because that almost came naturally, and that was a thing when you're growing up. I'm talking post high school, probably even post college, even. And I was trying to figure out what to do, what I liked, what to get into, all that shit, like we're doing right now. And I was really good at a bunch of things. I was just like you were talking about.
yeah, that's
But
why
then like one of the things that I was reading, and one of the things that it was in a Malcolm Gladwell book, he was explaining that it's maybe not the best to just be okay at a bunch of different things. how you really get good at a lot of things is to get like specialist good at one thing. So let me explain this. So back a while ago, I was explaining to you that I wanted to learn how to computer code. And I'm like, I don't know why. I just want to do it.
I remember.
You know?
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know where this is going to lead me, but I'm just going to try it because I'm not going to work at Google. I'm not going to work at Tesla. Maybe, but that wasn't the goal. You know, that wasn't what I was shooting for. I wasn't looking to be the best programmer, just like you're saying, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But what I knew was that if I went down this path and I tried to specialize and just get really proficient at one coding language, that it would open up doors to other things. And I didn't know what it was at the time. I had no idea because they're not open. Okay. So I started messing around with coding. I don't mess around with coding that much anymore. But here's the crazy part.
Yeah. I wondered. Yeah.
Because I was messing around with coding, and because of the stuff that I was doing with coding, I got into bots. And because I started running these bots and I started, buying shit with these bots, hard to find stuff and reselling it, making some money, I learned a lot about, machine learning and artificial intelligence. And I learned a lot about coding still. I learned more about like how to implement it into like real world situations and, how to apply it and stuff like that. Then lo and behold, I kind of get, the addiction to the stock market, and I start to, get back into that. And I had been, into it for a while, but then took off because I didn't have the money and, saved up some money, got back in. Once I got back in, I started to use some of the knowledge that I had just obtained from all the different computer stuff, all the different tech stuff that I had just gone through, all the different stuff that I just mined out of that coding lessons, all those different books I read, all those lessons that I did online, all the YouTube videos that I watched, all the shit that I was just telling you, got me to the point to where I was like, oh man, I like cryptocurrency now. Oh man, I could buy Bitcoin, I could buy Ethereum, I could do all this stuff, but I could also mine it now because I know what the fuck I'm doing. So now I was like, the barrier to entry from me to mining, but if I didn't code, I wouldn't even be considering it. It wouldn't even be on my plate because I would have no fucking clue. And I'd have to go so far back, and it would be a huge run up to get to where I want it to be right now. I probably wouldn't even have the energy or the focus or the passion to do something like that. But because I had all of this knowledge and all this terminology more than anything, really. It was like learning a language. It was like going to France finally and knowing French fucking fluently. I was able to enjoy the country, baby. So when I started looking into mining, I knew exactly what the fuck was going on. I knew exactly what parts, they were talking about. I knew exactly, how to, implement this code, how to get this thing up onto, the server, how to load an OS that's mining specific on a Linux platform. All these different things that I would have no fucking clue about if I didn't just fuck around with Python a couple months ago. It was like it was meant to be.
And I remember, because I was going to ask you about this, and that was a great monologue. I'm glad we're recording this. My thought was this. There was a time when you were playing the piano, and I loved it. I was hoping really we would connect on some music, and hopefully, I know we'll get back there. Because music is in you to a level, and I'm backing off, but like I love talking music, and just like, because your music is different than mine, and I like it. So I thought about that, and then I love that where you went. But to my point, to some extent, and I know you'll slam me, but is that the only way you got there was by doing 100 things? Because we were both doing 100 things, and now I'm already looking at my process differently, like a total hypocrite. But for me to even have that, it's nice for me to set that boundary and say, no, man, you got to do everything, and then have it broken down, and then be like, okay, I actually allowed that barrier to break down. Because I have a stone wall there. But the reason that you could get where you got was because you were doing 100 things at once, needing to find
just
the
keep
thing.
talking. I'm going to walk away. I'm not
sure.
leaving.
You're good. Needing to find the thing. My point was that will lead you to the thing, because I wrapped up the podcast with like, look, everything, you're going to quit everything. There will only be a couple things that will remain, and those will be the ones that you're a little bit better at and that you enjoy putting your time on. And they will fall away. But trying to specialize, I guess maybe that might have been my point, like trying to niche down, trying to find the thing that you should focus on is not really smart. I think you should do 100 things and
And you'll find
everything you'll quit everything. Yeah. Like you'll quit doing journals and you realize talking into the Anchor podcast is easier for you.
It's
And so
easier
that's
for
what
you.
you'll do. You know what I mean?
100%.
It's like, anyway,
But you still have to do the
good
same
stuff.
thing.
You still got to do the
into
same thing.
That voice, recorder. You can't say I don't want to do the written journal. I want to do the verbal journal, but then the verbal journal is like a half-ass version of the written journal. You know what I mean?
Well, and then to your point, you're right. But to your point, if you're not going back and listening to those things and getting value
That too.
from what you tried to tell yourself, because a lot of this
Yes.
is me telling myself things and getting feedback from people and being cool. I'm not alone on that. That's always
Yes.
nice, right?
Big time, big
finding
time.
people. What are you going to draw for us? Freaking
Well, no, I was
Hangman?
gonna explain my what we were talking about, my theory on
Do a button hook, Johnny.
So here's what's up. So like most people, when they get into something, they go like this, loop, and they just get into it a little bit, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about going like this.
Oh, he's deep diving.
I'm talking about this.
Deep work.
So that was the piano. Here's computer coding. Here's fucking stock market. That's how you do it. This is where you find all the fucking gold. You're not gonna find the gold here, bro. The gold isn't here.
Yeah.
It's down here.
It is down there.
Even if you want to do 100 things, you still have to dig this deep on all 100 things. So remember that when you choose to, how many things you're going to take on, because you have to get down here. If you constantly just skim the surface, you're not going to get any of this. You have to get down here in order for you to get the gold. The gold is what's going to get you, the gold is what's going to get you the momentum.
Keep talking, man.
And all that shit that you need in order to get, like you said, to figure out what you want, figure out what you want to do, and figure out how to do it, and have all of this knowledge behind you to make the barriers to entry almost fucking invisible. So that's the point.
Agreed. And that's perfectly well said. I like that you went down.
You got the same one.
Some of these are going to go, they're not all going to go down the trough.
You're right.
Some of them are going to go, that's called like the dip. Seth Godin will talk about the dip. There's a dip and you have to decide, do you keep going or do you cut it off?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so some of them are smaller is what you're saying.
You're
but
right.
yeah, you're
right.
You're right. The ones that catch our hearts are a little bit for a while, or our attention go deeper. You're right. And so my theory, I guess, and maybe I didn't put it out there, was like, please don't like niche down, think, on a hunch. Like you'll know, I think. And like I'm waiting for some of those, but they're coming to 2 or 3. And it's the things that I want to be really good at that when I'm on, like singing, I think, and like golf, like when I'm on, it feels so great. And it's just so satisfying. And and I know I'm capable of more. And so that's why those are in my heart. But also I know that they're so far from practical that I let that stand in the way. And that's tough.
It is. And that's
because then I have to choose seconds and thirds and fourths.
Yeah.
And so that's why I do a million things, because I probably can't do the things that I really am good at. And really
million things makes it sound worse than it really is. I'd say like maybe 10
24.
Yeah, like it's not even that really.
Yeah,
it's probably only
it's
about 10.
probably like it's probably like 10 things. That's sorry for getting boisterous on it, but the point is you're right.
Truth.
It's probably there's probably like 6 to 10 if you wanted to. You could
At
shave a
any
couple,
given time.
and then some are like true hobbies. Like I think making stuff for
Nothing
our
wrong
house,
with that,
because
man.
we've already got projects. So first, I'm going to start there. If I post some things and people say, "Hey, I want a blah blah blah," I got a table. That's going to be great. But it's going to be cool to build out the shelves that we wanted, like you guys have done, and it's awesome, man.
Without looking to sell any of it. We weren't looking to grind it out or, make a second income or passive income off anything like that. It was just, like you said, that's a true hobby in my mind.
If I had the tools, though, I could see myself zenning out there. I dig it. I've watched the stuff to where some of the guys do it, no power tools, and like they make their own tools out of wood. Yeah. That's really cool, but I wouldn't go that way with it. I don't know. It would be fun, man. Yeah, that's just their vibe, but that's cool.
But imagine if you just dipped your toes in there and you learned a couple of skills, and you, like you said, you don't go here, you're just going like here on that one. and then you take those skills, but then you go this far on like some table maker guy that you found on YouTube that's fucking awesome, and you watch
Yeah.
100 videos of his and you learn a shit ton.
Yeah,
But
you're
the only
right.
reason you're able to get a lot of value out of his stuff is, or even if that you found him, was because you went down this one just a little bit,
Yeah.
and you saw that little speckle of gold and you're like, let's dig right next to
Let's
this.
go down.
Right next to this. There's a shit ton of
Yeah.
gold right here. I guarantee it. So then you dug right next to that shit and you're like, there was a ton of gold in here. You grab it, you take it out, and you're like, okay, now what? So yeah, that's my point. But like, oh shit, what was I gonna say? I was gonna tell you something about what we were just saying about
I was gonna go ahead.
go. Yeah, go.
Oh, I was gonna
Can't
just
remember.
jump
It just
on and
slipped my
say I'm
mind.
excited to get through the rest of this budget planner of yours. You guys are on fire.
Yes.
I'm so proud of you guys. Like I know Rachel crushes it and you are fucking on top of the world, man. I'm just watching you. You are on fire. I mean,
Lazy.
regardless of the money and all that stuff, like the level that you've taken things to, right? Because of the work you've put in. I mean, it's awesome. And I can see it and I'm just like, holy shit. But also it's like
I ain't gonna lie.
I want the guy that plays the piano still.
Drop of fucking booze and 9
I wondered
months.
because the beard hasn't come back to what it was when we met. It's
I
never been back to the full.
I've hacked it off earlier usually just because it's been getting stringy. When it gets too long, it gets like stringy and almost dready, and I hate that. That's just
Yeah.
nasty.
Yeah,
So
you don't
then I'll
want it
chop it off
dreading.
and regrow it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's a summer thing usually. Like in the middle of summer,
That's
it's always
true.
bad. But then I'll do it again like right after winter. So I do it like twice a year. But yeah, this go around, I think I did shave it twice this summer. So that's probably why you're thinking that.
Dude, one more thing here. Challenges. We used to challenge each other,
Yes.
So,
What
and I
you
know we
got?
were
You got
doing the
something on your
watch thing.
mind?
I don't have my
Oh, I
watch
like
on,
that
so
one.
let's do something off
Something
watch.
else.
Let's do something
Okay.
mental. Like we did a reading thing. You crushed me
Like
on
it.
everything. I
Dude,
gotta
no, the
step up
reading
and win one.
That's why I'm calling you out.
I
So here,
know.
and
Gotta win one.
here, look, I want you.
I rest
Oh,
on my
this is
laurels.
what I wanted to ask you. Okay, I got it. I remembered it. All right, clear your mind. You ready for this?
And the rest will follow.
Your mind is so far from clear.
It's always music. No,
like I
you're
was
good.
just
It's
gonna
this.
say,
It's like a
fucking
bell.
80s gigantic jukebox going off in your head. Clear your mind. Now I want you to honestly answer here. Okay.
Okay.
I don't care if your answer is jerking off. I don't care if your answer is
Sorry, Mom.
watching porn. Think of something else that you would like not want to, anything crazy. Doesn't matter. Okay. What is the first thing that you think about when you wake up? Besides like, goddamn, I got to piss or something. First thing.
First thing I
tough,
think
right?
about when I wake up.
Yeah. You're now filtering. That's what I noticed. You're
No, I
filtering.
walk. No, I actually not. I feel this is amazing. I put myself like I was going to meditate, so I let it totally
Good,
clear, and
good.
I
Okay.
walked right. I walk out to the kitchen, and I typically
Even before
make
that,
coffee.
right when you're in your
That's
bed.
it, man. When I'm
Even
in my
you're in your
bed,
you
dude.
pop up in bed and you check your phone. Do you hit an alarm? Whenever
Usually
that
I hit my
happens,
alarm.
Nothing
Usually I
like
hit my
that.
alarm.
Not like, oh, I got to stop my alarm. That's not what I mean. What's the
Yeah.
first thing besides like, oh, I'm up, I got to stop my alarm? You could, I'm not even saying like check the time, nothing
Yeah.
like that. What's the first normal thing that pops into your head usually? You know what I mean? Like for me, it could be something like, oh, this is a Dakota weekend and I get to hang out with Dakota. Let me go see if she's up. You know what I mean?
My first thing is usually how much time before Payne's school starts.
Boom. Okay. So
Yep.
you're
Usually.
you go into scheduling mode right away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And it's a family thing. So let's keep moving. So from there,
one day last week, I went back to waking up, sitting on the side of the bed, and being like, "What did I say?" I was like, "It's going to be a great day" or something like that.
Okay.
I did try to get back into that one time.
Okay.
But so normally
Just
it's
positive
hey,
thought.
how much time before Payne's school? How much
Okay,
time do
keep
I
going.
have? Like, what can I do? Can I run? Should I go sit down and do my journal? Like, what's
So that's good. So you said run. So is the first thing, I'm just guesstimating here, and I'm not trying to put shit into your head. So you have to correct me if I'm not correct here, and don't just say it to move it along. So the first thing usually that's not event related as like a scheduling thing would be like, oh, I need to work out.
Yeah.
That would probably be what you would consider.
Yeah, I would say, do I have time? I like, do I have time to maybe get a quick run in, and then I would see,
Yes.
and then check with Jenny
How often do you think you do something like that?
that I actually go for the run.
No, just even think about it.
That thought's almost every
Yeah.
morning, probably.
Beautiful. Okay,
Yeah.
so that's a good one. Let's remember that one. Now keep going. You said something right after that. You said running, and then go. Oh, I do have enough time to get a run in.
Yeah, do I have enough time to get a run in?
Just go back into it. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, I can't remember.
What else
I
do
don't
you
know.
think?
So I was
What
talking
else
about
keeps
maybe I
happening?
could sit down and do my journal.
Do it. Boom.
Or
Okay, let's stop. That's
yeah.
perfect. That's exactly what you said. So can I sit down and do my journal? So the first two things that you normally think about every day that's not event related or scheduling related, to get everybody out the door is, can I work out? And what kind of plan or goals or what kind of thing can I put on paper in order to guide me the rest of the day? Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Though. Very well said.
Keep going. Keep going.
And then from there, it depends. Like if I got up early that morning, then I'd have some time. And so
Yeah.
sometimes I'll meditate, or sometimes I'll snooze. I'll just come out here and snooze,
Sure.
or I'll read. And then usually someone's coming out, and then it's like, okay, what's breakfast? What are we doing for breakfast? So I'll usually
What
make
would you be
breakfast.
reading? Sorry.
Well,
I'm just going to interrupt you.
right now it's been that journal because it's kind of, I was telling you, it's like a follow along thing, like writing out your goals and stuff.
Yeah.
But
Just in any times, it could
yeah, I
be
know,
a
I
year
can't
ago,
remember what I wrote here.
just like shit in the morning, you're just reading whatever you're kind of into at that moment.
It's usually business or something at that moment. I don't read,
Yeah.
like that guy's memoirs I'm reading right now.
Yes.
That's at the nightstand in bed. And like this, or these two,
Yeah.
these are more like bed books, but I
yep.
kept them here because they look cool for the shot, bro.
Dude, I love your setup, man. I'm so jealous because my setup looks just like dog shit now compared to yours. I got to do
No, I
something.
love it. I want like a fucking office, like
My
space.
house is all fucked up.
It
'cause
looks
the
awesome.
Shit stack broke.
Where are you going? Let's go. Keep going with this. We're at an hour. So
I didn't tell you this.
where are you taking me? No,
What?
I'm saying where are you taking me though?
Yeah, no,
Yeah, I know you
mean,
got
fucking
fumigations
horrible.
going on over there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I wish it was that easy.
Yeah.
It actually kind of is, but fumigation's not easy.
Yeah.
The
But
shit
you're not
stack
fumigating.
off of our main master bathroom was cracked or broken. Yeah, exactly. And essentially, every time you flush the toilet, you were flushing the toilet on top of the ceiling right above my head. So all
Whoa.
of that piss and shit water for the past 4 or 5 years, that's
Oh
how
my
long I've been
gosh.
doing this, has been collecting up in the drywall and in the joists. So one day, and there's like decorative wood. There was decorative wood above me,
Oh my
that Rachel put
gosh,
in there.
dude.
So the Tesla guy shows up. So we're gonna put the charging plug and everything in the garage, right? And he's like, let me get a route from your panel in the basement up through
Your
this
shit.
area
Your
over
shit.
over to the garage. And I'm like, yeah, no problem, dude. Here's how you get there. So I show him.
Here's how you get up in there.
And he's like, well, we're gonna have to put an access panel right over in this area. And I'm looking like where he's pointing, but I look above his hand, and there's like one of those wood slats is like kind of hanging down. And I look up there, I'm like, is that fucking mold? And I'm
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is that? And it was like there was water in the bathroom too, like water damage in the
Shit.
bathroom. And I was just like, I'm like, what the fuck? And I didn't put it together that all of it was the same thing,
Yeah.
And so it didn't even phase me. I thought it was just like a little drip, and we had some
Kid can't
shit.
be phased over here.
We had some shit, going on that day. So like I put my thumb into the drywall, and it like made a thumbprint because it was so wet. And I was
yeah.
like, we gotta call the
Soggy
fucking restoration
waffles.
guy. Well, anyway, so the
Get the
fucking
Tesla guy out of here. Get him out.
he,
Get him.
he didn't he was
Get
gone.
him out of here.
So the restoration guy comes up and he pulls down all the boards, and he's like, oh yeah, he's like, there's black mold everywhere. He's like, you gotta leave the house. I mean, like, he's like, this is bad.
Oh
so-
gosh, dude.
Yeah, dude, we had to leave the house. The whole house is still tarped up, and they just let us back in. But then they hooked up all these dehumidifiers and all these gigantic industrial sized air handlers with these 7 HEPA filters to clean the entire house's air,
Yeah.
because there was black mold flying everywhere in here, and black mold is really, really bad.
Yeah.
And it was because of the shit and piss water all over the place. So this will probably cost us in the neighborhood of like fucking 20 grand.
Wow. Is there some sort of insurance up on that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course, man.
And they're like, nah, bro. So
No.
what
when your
happens
toilet
with this
blows
type of
up,
thing? Like,
that's like insurance 101. It's like
Yeah.
what they made
So-
insurance for.
yeah, that's true. In case shit.
Yeah.
So what happens with? I'm looking looking up the mold right now. So what happens if you
Yes.
have, a long-term exposure to black mold? Do you have to do some sort
Allergies.
of? That's it.
Yep. Yeah.
Everybody's like,
It
"You're
won't
gonna
kill you.
die, Frank."
But I got news for you, dude. Ever since we started ripping it out and it's been exposed, my
Yeah.
allergies are always bad right now, but
Yeah.
it's like next fucking level bad.
Well, yeah, you just ripped the spores out and you're living in it,
Yes.
Brasky.
Well, the first thing I knocked down was a whole entire panel of them, and it fell right in my face. I felt like fucking Prometheus.
Serious?
I was, like I thought someone was gonna pop out of my fucking chest later that night and start tap dancing on the table. Like fucking alien.
That's awesome, dude. That's seriously, at a diner. I didn't go to a diner that night, that's for sure.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Dude, I thought everybody said you it'll kill you or something. I don't know.
That's why I looked it up right away too. Because when the guy told me that, I was like, "Give me 1 minute," and I went in the other room. I was like, "Can
Right
black mold
back.
kill you?" Bookmark.
See, those bookmarks don't count. Bookmark my ass.
I got like fucking 4 bookmarks for black mold, motherfucker. How many you got?
Yeah. How many have you been researching? Nailed it. But you're only going to watch 16,000 hours of anything if you're fucking in it to win it.
Well, the reason why I asked you what you were thinking,
And you
about
bought
when
the
get out-
hat. Yeah. Why? Because you thought I was going to be like, where am I going to jack off?
No, I was trying to set like an okay boundary here to where, like anything goes. You could be like, oh man, I have the worst case of hemorrhoids. I'm not just making shit up. But you get
I
my
could have
point.
tried to have fun with it. I mean, was I
Yeah,
too serious?
exactly.
But
No,
I was
no,
trying to
wanted
be
you
real because
serious. Yeah,
I
that's why I
was
said
like,
this.
they're good thoughts, man. I have good thoughts. I have great intentions,
Well, the reason why I said it
uh,
was because I was thinking about myself, and I was like, hey, what do I think about when I get up? What gets me up in the morning? You've heard
Yeah.
that saying, right?
Yeah.
That's why I was going with this, and I was
Mhm.
trying to figure out what gets Joel up in the morning, and I
That's such a good
obviously
question.
it's family, obviously, that stuff. But that's why I was like, not that, because that's a given to me. I'm saying, what gets you up and gets you excited? So I'll give you another example. So back in the day,
That's
when
a
I was a little
great
kid,
question.
when I was a little kid, and I had Nintendo, right? And Legend of Zelda had part 2 had just come out. Me and my mom
Part 2.
went to 16 Toys R Us's to find this motherfucker. We find it, right?
With Todd
And I can-
Mahalik, probably.
Probably. I remember it was probably Miraz.
It probably was.
He had the most Nintendo games, but I can even smell what like the fucking instructions manual smells like. I can
Yeah.
even feel the jacket around the fucking game. But anyway, so like and this is obviously I'm like 9, but I'd go home, I got the game, and the next day I'd have to go to school, and
Yeah.
obviously you're thinking, most people would be like, oh, you're thinking about school, or you're thinking about the playground, or you're thinking about, your friends, or you're thinking about
Yeah.
baseball. Well, when I got that Legend of Zelda game, I was so fucking pumped up to get Zelda Part 2 that I brought the instruction manual with me in my backpack, right? And then I would
study
read
that
it
mug.
during fucking, recess.
Recess, yeah.
And then every once in a while I would just
Mad
open
Hatter.
my bag up and like just smell the fucking book, because the printing paper back then was like crazy like that. So like to me it was like a whole fucking
We
thing,
had a holy bond.
it was like a whole experience. Like it was a smell.
It's
it was a
people like there's
taste.
people that love their cars too. They
I didn't
marry their
chew it.
cars.
You get my point. I said taste, but I did not eat the game. But you know what I mean. And there's like a whole tactile thing to it. But I was like obsessed with this fucking Legend of Zelda game, to the point to where like I said, like
Why? What did it give you?
I don't.
What did you love? The puzzle, the chase,
It was all of that.
figuring
right.
it out.
It was new. It was hard to get. I felt like I had something that was difficult to obtain because we had put so much work and effort into getting, like you said too, there was a challenge. This was a sequel to a game that I had loved. There was a bunch of things.
Did you
that
think
went into it.
about like beating everybody else like to the end? Was there any of that? Like, I want to conquer this before any of my
No.
buddies do? No,
I
some people get into that version of it. I just didn't know.
Sure, I don't remember having that. It might have been, but I
Not
don't
like
remember
fucking
having that.
Corcoran, I'm gonna beat him. Fuck,
I
beat
definitely
him.
didn't want anybody telling me how to get through something. I always wanted to figure it out. And
Yeah,
even till
typical
this
man.
day, even till let me mansplain.
Tell
this
me,
to you.
devil woman.
Just let me mansplain this to you really quick, and we'll be all good. But
Record
my
this. You're gonna want to record.
just everyone get get your fucking notebooks out right now. So smell your manuals.
Yeah. Then it's over.
But that's my point. It's like when I woke up in the morning that next day, I was like, man, maybe I can get a couple of fucking, 20 minutes of Zelda in, just like you were saying. Maybe I don't forget to grab the manual so you can read about how to beat the level 6, like what you need for, how the fucking sword works. Or, I'm just making shit up, but you get my point. Like I was like,
Yeah, dude.
all about it. I'd go to Jeffrey Wassel and be like, hey man, you get Zelda too, I'm just giving you an example for when you're a little kid.
No, that's
you're a kid,
perfect.
you obsess over things.
No, that's perfect. And it's like, that's such a great question. I never thought, none of us have. To the core, we're little kids, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
with these different roles we have to play. But I mean, that's a great question. I never
What
thought
wakes
about
you
what
up
gets
in
me
the
up in the
morning?
morning, because I don't know. I mean, I'm
Think
in.
about it.
I feel
Not right now. Just take your
no,
time.
no. But I truly feel like right now I'm in this. I work and I help Payne with school, and then I don't know, and so I don't know, man.
You're gonna think
This
about
is a
it
great
now.
question.
I got news.
Oh, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be great.
Yeah, you're gonna be kind of.
I love this. I love this. I'll go deep in there, man. No, I won't feel. I'll feel it. I'm a big feel, but yeah. And we'll see. Next thing I'm telling you, you know what I thought about tonight? So I've been watching a lot of videos on walking the Appalachian Trail.
Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about.
I've watched gear videos. I'm going down the
Got
rabbit
50
hole with the
subscriptions, 200.
Yeah, I'm starting to. I
20
like
bookmarks.
the videos that I like now.
Yeah.
I got the bookmarks. This is going deep. This is going,
This
and the
is what I'm talking
25,000 step challenge is the thing that got me there. And I only
Now
did
we're
that
starting to
because
unlock
I
some
figured
keys,
I
my
would try
friend.
to get up on YouTube. Right, I'll put a show on YouTube with some of these fun videos that are getting hits. The
Yes.
things I would like to do,
Yes.
challenges I would like to do. Well, now the AT, right? This
Yeah.
thing is interesting, Tony. You got to check it out. It's about 2,100
Oh, I have.
miles.
Yep.
Yeah, Georgia to Maine. And if you go at the right time and all this stuff, but they say you only ever go about 4 or 5 miles before you're crossing like a road. So you don't have to carry a lot of food per se, because your
crazy.
next resupplies
can
aren't, you can get places. So it's like this. I watched a
Especially
video,
nowadays.
a family of 6, and they had a 3-year-old, I think, in a backpack, right? They
How long
did
did it take 'em?
it took them 6 months.
Oh,
But
my goodness.
like 5 months in, like three months in, the guy was like, "Hey, honey, the Maryland, whatever Maryland fucking Delaware marathon is this weekend. We should
Let's
go."
get in it.
The whole family flies. All of the kids,
Oh, shit.
they're 18,
It wasn't
18
on
and down.
route.
No, it wasn't en route. They
Oh.
flew back
Oh,
to
yeah, 'cause
Seattle.
Maryland is to the
Or it was
it's
in Maryland.
right? Yeah.
No, I'm sorry. They flew back to Seattle.
Oh, my God.
It was all back to Seattle, and or wherever the fuck it was, maybe Maryland. I don't know. Sorry, but they ran. The whole family ran the marathon, flew back, and continued on and knocked it out. People were calling CPS because he had the kids out there on the trail because it was freezing cold, and this little baby in the backpack. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe they flew out, did a marathon, and came back and
Fuck,
finished
you're
it.
You're going to call Child Protective Services for real?
First, I was like, this guy is a lunatic, but then I was like, the whole family's awesome. They're so bonded. They're so bonded deep. These kids. I mean,
Of course. Yeah, of course. You
it's
got
awesome,
them. You
man.
got them out of the bullshit. You got them out of the conditioning programs. You got them out of you. Wait, man. Wait till Payne gets in that school and you
It was
see what's
awesome.
going on, bro. It's a nightmare. Did you know
Yeah.
that most of the Antifa people that they arrest, and most of the people that get arrested for throwing bricks at people's heads and blowing shit up, they're all public school teachers, right?
No, are they really?
9 out of 10 of all of them. Yeah, every
They're
time.
all pissed off because
they're
they want
all
to
fucking
reprimand
public
these little
school
shits, and they're
teachers.
not allowed to do anything about it anymore.
No,
They
the
can't
point is,
yell at a kid. You can't say,
your kids are
you
getting
can't.
raised by members of Antifa.
100%.
That's the point.
No. That's, well, my kids won't be, but
Yeah, that's
well, kids, God willing.
God dang, dude.
See?
I'm telling you, it's a nightmare. You should have seen the crazy bullshit that went down with, the school boards and stuff like that with this school. They've already pushed Dakota Start back 2 more weeks. She don't start till the middle
guys-
of September now.
Yeah, Payne is October or something like that, I think.
Yeah.
But you know what? I asked for this. I said, God, maybe I wish I could just have more time at home with my son, and I could work
remember
from
that?
home.
I remember that, dude. You
Boom.
were begging for it.
I was begging for it, and
Like
it's
7 episodes straight.
I got it. Here it is.
I know. So what's the deal? What do you think?
Well,
so
there's a
far?
couple things. There's this law of attraction. There's this thing also, be careful what you wish for, because it's my version. Well, in my version, I didn't work. Because, because spending time with, I always feel like I'm neglecting him, but I'm getting through that, and we're getting better at scheduling. But I love it. I love it because look, you'll text you in the middle of the day like, well, we just
Yeah.
build a Lego cart or
Yeah, yeah,
whatever,
yeah.
and it's like I realize that this is the investment that needs to be made. Not that we all don't think that,
Mm,
but this is the
you'd be
investment that needs to be
surprised.
made. Well,
You'd be
no,
surprised.
I can tell actually. A lot of this actually I can tell because there are people who can't handle being home with their children. And I
Mm.
know it's not easy. It's not easy for him and I to be here every day, just like everybody else is doing,
Yeah, man.
and and then never kind of get out. And it's you makes you, see, what do you want? Can you take advantage of the situation and really reap some good benefits with your family out of it?
For
You
sure,
know,
you have to.
you have to
Yeah.
if you can. And
Well, yeah, I
it's
mean, if you have to, otherwise you're not going to survive this fucking craziness.
well, I know, but there's families
Yeah.
that just are not nice to each other, man.
Oh, dude, that's why the divorce rates are through the roof. That's why
Yeah.
child violence and like, in-home violence is through the fucking roof. All these things have happened, like you said, because people are not able to adjust to being home with their kids all the time. They're not able to adjust being home with their wife all the time or their husband all the time or
Oh my gosh.
you
Think
know,
about, I just
it's
realized,
through
yeah,
the fucking roof, dude.
think about the
I've seen the
people,
stats. Yeah.
think about the people that are taking care of somebody who's disabled or even mentally
Sure.
handicapped that
My
typically
best
doesn't
friend
take care
Alan,
of them
bro.
every day.
Oh,
Who
okay, no,
typically
he
is
does it
not
every
their
day.
everyday caregiver. No, they do now,
Yeah.
but
Well,
prior
he's
to
always
being in
been.
this, okay, but prior to being in this situation, maybe they weren't, but maybe the
Sure.
person can't go anywhere now. And so that's just the abuse that goes on, though. I've been hearing about too. I knew nothing.
Yeah,
I even
I
never
can't even
even thought
imagine, bro.
about that, right? Oh, my
Dude,
God, dude.
especially with elderly, like you said, that's why you hear
Yeah.
about that shit in old folks' homes so bad too. And a lot of
It's
those
like
old
now your
folks' homes are
back's
all
going to
going to
hurt.
go out of business, bro.
You think? Wow, where are
Oh,
they going
for
to
sure.
go?
Most of them lost all their patients, because it was like 97.8% or something like that of the people that died from COVID were over 70 years old and they were in old folks' homes. And that's like real deal stats. You can look that shit up. So, I mean,
Dude, that
like,
was planted.
of course,
They were already
to
upset
thin the
about the
herd.
drain that they were having
Yeah.
on, on
Why do
the
you think
system,
New
on the
York
healthcare
literally
system.
sent all their COVID patients to old folks' homes? This is not a secret. This is not a conspiracy. This is all confirmed.
No,
And
that's
they're
true.
like,
I
we
remember
didn't
hearing that, but
know.
I was like, wait, what?
We didn't
Yeah.
know. And then everybody's fucking dead, and they're getting paid for all those deaths. But that's a whole nother story. But you get my point, man.
Wow. Here,
Yeah.
solid stuff, dude. You left me with this whole wake up in the morning. Why do I wake up?
Let's focus on that. We can end that. Let's end it there because we're already
Yeah.
an hour in and a little over actually. But
Deep.
but dude, I was telling Rachel, I'm like, I'm gonna fucking push Joel tonight. I'm gonna get in there a
Nice.
little bit. I'm gonna
Yeah.
fucking give it to him a little. And
I
just
was
see what
feeling that the
how he
show
reacts.
had to shift into this because we had drifted away a little bit from that.
Yeah.
But we're heavy in stocks too, and I'm having fun. This is great. So yeah, let's do
would
that. I
love
want to talk
sit here
about
and
deep
talk
work next
stocks
time.
the whole time. You know what I mean? I would
No,
love
I
to sit here
know.
and talk options the whole time, but I always
We will.
love talking about this shit more. 'Cause
Yeah,
it's
this
almost
is
like,
good too.
mind fuck stuff. I like that stuff better.
Well, this is the stuff that I think allows people to stay on strategy, to have self-confidence, to believe in themselves. And that's part of it, right? Because I remember trying to day trade. I'd be like, well, is it going to go up or down? Who knows? Let's guess. Hey, I got hit $50. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
candlestick
It's
my
gotta be-
ass. Sorry.
No fucking YouTube channels back then, bro. It's just fucking some dude that you
Literally
met on
trading
the
in-
CBOE floor. But you didn't meet him on the floor. You met him at fucking at Murphy's
At
after a Cubs
Hackney's,
game.
yeah, Murphy's, totally. Murphy's.
He's like,
Hammered,
"We're gonna
blacked out,
CBOE."
hammered. Yeah, and he's there at
What you do.
3:30 because they get cut at 2:30, right?
Yeah.
Market closes. He's uptown already, like
Oh, too funny, dude.
drinking out of wax cups. God bless.
Yeah, man.
All right, brother. Thanks for your time, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate this.
Let me know what you think. You got to text me, okay? Text me, and this is what I thought when I woke up. You got to do it.
Oh shit! I'm not gonna have it that soon, but I will.
Well, not right.
Yeah.
Not the second you wake up, but after you get moving or something like that. Just tell me, a couple times, and I'll tell you.
Oh,
What
I got
what
you.
I did too. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
I
Like,
dig it.
you get up,
dig
you're
it.
like, oh, this is what it is, and then you're sitting
Yeah.
at breakfast. Everything's cool. Just text me really fast, and I'll let you know what mine was.
I'm in.
Awesome. This was awesome.
Later. It was great.
again,
Thanks, dude.
brother. Of course.
Later, man.
Peace.